thought a couple key aspects that kind of changed the game in the second half or let them pull it away was their ability to put the ball on the floor and make some plays off the drive. Obviously with McClellan and Reed, both played exceptionally well for them today. And you know, their experience, their great experienced team kind of played at the same pace the whole game, and just waited for us to either make some mistakes on offense or us to have some breakdown on defense and just kind of extended the lead. And that's what they did in the first run. We responded pretty well to that. And then they did it again later, and I thought we responded well again. A couple timely free throws that we need to put in. And when you're battling the top 20 team and you have a chance, you know, 3 minutes ago, it's a one possession game, you have to do a couple different things. When you get fouled, you need to go to the free throw line and make them, and you need to get a couple stops there. And we were close to getting that one stop, and obviously the shot goes in at the buzzer from the corner, and that was a big play for them. But you know, they're a very good team, very talented team at 18-4 now in the top 20 team, and we did a better job of rebounding the ball in the second half. But our defense throughout the game, and you know, to have them shoot 49% is a little too high for us to try to be successful.
You did what you needed to do offensively, 50% from the field, 50% from three, but as you said, at one point you were 2 for 9 in the foul line, missing front end and one-on-ones, and that really put you in a tough position.
Yeah, because here's what happened. For the first time all year long, and I don't know if this is exactly true, you guys can check it, but I can't remember us having more turnovers than assists. That's not who we are. We're one of the lowest turnover teams in the country, and we have 14 turnovers in this game. You could probably get away with that if you go to the free throw line and make your free throws, but you can't combine those two. And that was you know, a big difference in the game, because you're talking again a possession game, a one possession, 2 possession game. You can't have empty possessions either at the free throw line. As you said, we were 2 for 9 during that stretch, and 2 of them were front ends of 1-on-1. You know, and so those are just empty possessions that, you know, you're playing against one of the better defensive teams in the league, and you're shooting 50% from the field, 50% from the three. When you get fouled, now you need to capitalize on that. And unfortunately, we weren't able to do that. And again, what that does do, it puts so much pressure on your defense where you need to be near perfect defensively. And when you're playing against a team with, you know, in the starting lineup, I think they have 22 years of college experience. It's going to be difficult to be near perfect defensively for an entire half.
Offensive rebound probably wasn't as good as you normally have.
No, you know what? You know, Ken, it's a strange world out there. We got 10 offensive rebounds, 5 of them team rebounds, meaning that the ball's knocked out of bounds. But we scored 15 second chance points. So you've been around. We've had games where we get 16 offensive rebounds and have 8 second chance points. You know, so we capitalize better on that. One of the things that we've worked on, and I think we're getting better at, when we get an offensive rebound, if we are swarmed or if we are walled up, especially in this game like with Jacari, we got to kick the ball out. And we did a better job of that and got some threes because of it. You know, and I thought that's something that we've tried to emphasize over the last week or so, and I think, or last couple weeks, and we're getting better at that.
Nick was 4 for 8 in the first half, only had 1 touch in the second half. Do you feel that it was the defense or the guards not looking for him enough?
Well, one shot,
yeah,
or 1 touch.
1 shot,
yeah. They did a pretty good job on him in the second half, and we got him the ball a couple times, but probably not as much as we need to.
The first half in particular, to go back to offensive rebounds,
Yep.
it seemed like they were getting a lot of this kind of 50-50 balls, and was that kind of endemic to you, or say something about the effort you guys are giving?
I was not pleased with our defensive rebounding in the first half. They had 7 in the first half, offensive rebounds. They were a little quicker to the ball. We weren't physical enough because they play with, great length and athletic ability, so you got to put a body on them. But in that first half as well, I don't think we got any guard rebounds or anything like that. Obviously, I thought we did a better job of shoring that thing up a little bit in the second half. In the first half, we only had 1 live offensive rebound. That was Ben Lammers with maybe with less than a minute, last 2 minutes of the first half. The other 2 we had 3 total in the first half. The other 2 were, as I said, team rebounds. Very rarely is Chuck going to play 29 minutes and only get 2 rebounds, and none of them on the offensive end. Now, again, we shot, 50%. We missed 26 shots. We got 10 offensive rebounds. That's, 35, 38%, something like that. It's a pretty good number, but we need a little more, and when we get fouled, we need to make our free throws.
Tadrick plays 22 minutes. Seems like with each game he's doing more and more of what you're asking him to do.
He is. It's good to have him have back-to-back games where he made some good decisions. Again, you got to be able to play through some mistakes. He had a costly turnover in the second half during their run, but he responded back and did some good things at taking the ball to the basket. Again, he's a guy who's shooting 78%, 79% for us from the free throw line right now. And, he needs to be, because on those drives, one of the things that obviously, with the way the game is called now, you get into the free throw line, and he went to the free throw line, 4 times and went 1 for 4. And I can't remember. I think one of those might have been a front end of a 1-on-1, right? So, it really 1 for 5 when you look at it, opportunity-wise.
The turnovers, I think I've heard you say before that, if they're making plays, trying to be aggressive, whether it's an offensive moving screen, you're able to live with that more. But some of them, it seemed like, I feel like the last 2 at the end of the game, and then you had the shot clock. And were they maybe not the kind of turnovers you're willing to?
Yeah, there was some where our lack of assertiveness with the ball caused us. There was a couple possessions where I thought we kept the ball on one side of the court too long, held the ball a little too long instead of moving it. Obviously at the end, a couple of those at the, 2 of those, I guess, at the end are, those are end of game scramble situations. So and I think maybe Adam, those are 2 of his 4 potentially. Chuck's off, and I think both of his were offensive fouls, maybe, or at least one of them was. But there was a flow in a couple stretches offensively where we weren't as fluid as you need to be. Now, you got to give them credit for that as well. You know what I mean? They're a team that's hard to score around the basket, which you carry inside. He's, I think, arguably the best post defender in the conference. And again, you're talking about 5th-year player McClendon, Rodriguez. Those guys, they're veterans. They know how to play. They can, wall up without fouling. We had a couple drives that, sometimes they call them, sometimes they don't. You know what I mean? And we didn't get him. So you got to give them credit for that.
When Newton made that 3, what?
Yeah, I mean,
You defended pretty well too.
No, that was a great possession. I think it was a 3-point game at that time. We had a great defensive possession. Unfortunately, I'm going to be honest, sometimes when things ain't going great, those things happen. And then things are going well for Miami, and the guy makes that shot. I thought it was, a great defensive possession. It's a fadeaway 3 over a post guy that brought rain down when it came, you know what I mean? But, part of this game is making plays. You know what I mean? Part of this game is making plays. And I thought Ben made a big play, very similar way. Maybe you don't expect him to make that turn shot off the glass. But when it comes down to, you know, possession type games, you've heard me say, you gotta be able to make some plays, and that kid made that play on that one.